Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video I want to revisit the topic of what should be the first hand plane that you buy as a beginner. So let's get into it. It's a very personal question as to what the first hand plane should be for a beginner. You ask 100 people, you're going to get 100 different answers. Some of them well thought out, some of them just because, and others based on factors such as what project you're doing, time availability, and even the money you have available versus the time that you have when it comes to a hand plane. So let's jump down here. So what I have here, I have these three vintage ones in the Bailey bevel down system. I've got this new one that is in that same system as well. And then I have another bevel down here, which is in the Bedrock system. And I'll leave a link down below, Bailey versus Bedrock, so you can see what the difference is between them. But if you are looking for vintage planes, I do recommend that you look for the Bailey bevel down system because that's far easier to get a hold of and a lot cheaper. So what we've got here is the standard number 4 hand plane, which is very, very common, along with the number 5, which is very, very common. These two have a 50mm wide blade. Then we have the wider variants of these, known as sort of a heavy smoother or a 5.5 and a 4.5. And these have a 60mm wide blade, which is the same as your much larger jointed planes. They tend to have a 60mm blade as well. We also have over here in this number 5 bevel down, that has a 50mm wide blade too, and these two down this hand have those 50mm wide blades as well. So we can see most of these are bevel down, and bevel down is far more available and much easier to get a hold of than the bevel ups when it comes to vintage hand planes, and they're going to be a lot cheaper because there was just millions and millions of them made. So when it comes to these planes, this number 4 over here in the Bedrock system is the heaviest one out of all these hand planes because it is in the Bedrock system. My next heaviest here is this low angle here, partially because they're both modern planes as well. They are actually heavier because they use ductile steel versus grey cast iron, and that is something else you might want to factor in. The grey cast iron is a lot lighter than the ductile steel, but you knock a grey cast iron hand plane off your workbench, even onto a soft surface it could break, onto a hard surface it's definitely going to break, whereas the ductile steel, being in these new planes, is less likely to do that. But how about we just don't knock our planes off there? Then we don't need to factor that in. The other thing to factor in when we compare the half sizes are larger and slightly longer than their single digit non-half counterparts. You can see a big difference here when it comes to the 5.5 and the 5 here in terms of how much longer it is. There's a good probably 25mm, 30mm difference. And then you've got to also factor in the weight between the shorter planes, the longer planes, and obviously the wider one is heavier. Now maybe that is good for you if you're face planing, but if you're working on the edge of a carcass up in the air, face planing air, and you're holding it in your hand a lot more and doing little work, well, maybe that is not a good option for you. So you really do need to look at what projects you're going to be doing. So we can see the actual physical size and weight is a big factor when it comes to choosing the hand plane, and that is something that I can only leave up to you. And obviously, whether it's a vintage or a new plane, that's also something I've got to leave up to you because it's going to be different in every region as to whether you can get a hold of them. And some of the vintage ones are a lot more expensive than the new ones, and vice versa. And even then, you can still find cheaper versions if you look around. But if you do want to get vintage tools at a good price, do avoid eBay. That's my best suggestion because eBay tends to really overprice. Although you can get some good options there, but first starting out, I didn't get a single one of my hand planes here that I first started with off eBay because they were just far too expensive. And so local swap meets, markets, that sort of thing is actually your best bet. And I know in the US they have some good tool meets, and so that's probably your best bet over there. I don't know about them, but I have seen some footage of them, and they look like they're probably a pretty good option if you're just starting out and you're looking for a hand plane. Bevel up versus bevel down. So one thing you have to factor in, and a lot of people miss this when they do YouTube videos on what the first hand plane should be, and that is the ease of setup and operation of a plane. Now, a vintage plane is probably going to require a lot more setup, probably cleaning, breaking down. You can see how dirty this is. This would need a good clean, but the blade is going to need breaking down. You might need to fit the chip breaker. So that's where a bevel up plane such as this is actually a good option. If you're worried about all the setup, although I think you should learn to set it up, but these ones just have a single iron in them. They bevel up. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to make sure the back is 100% flat because you're not mating a chip breaker, so you don't have a double iron like this. You have to make sure the back of the blade is very flat. You have to make sure that this edge is ready, and if you're having any troubles with setting that up, I've got videos on that. I'll leave the links down below. It's really not as difficult as it seems, although I just made it seem like it is. But that is another factor that affects what you're going to choose as a brand new plane when you're first starting. Personally, what I like is something that is versatile, is going to get you started with the smaller projects, but is not going to be too heavy. And to be honest, I think a bevel down hand plane is going to be better for you learning your techniques. With the way the frog is sat in them, they're way more balanced in my opinion than most of these low angle ones. And the brand new ones, in my mind, are actually really too heavy for someone first starting out. So what I think and what I choose is usually the number 5. The number 4 is a nice plane. It is a little bit short for if you want to do some small jointing and stuff, and so the number 5 is going to be good for you to start with, and it's going to be a good plane to sort of push on with as you want to expand the size of your projects. Because I know most of you out there starting brand new are probably not working with rough sawn lumber. You're actually working with timber, and I recommend you do work with timber that is already processed. So you're not doing a lot of face planing and jointing. You're doing a little bit of smoothing work. You might do a little bit of jointing on the top of a box. You might be a little bit of jointing on a stretcher for a cupboard door when you get that far, and this will get you done. You don't really need to go up to the much larger size planes if you're just working with small projects. It's only when you start to get to larger stuff that you might want to grab a plane like the one I have here in a number 6, number 7, or a number 8, which are known as the jointer planes. But there is absolutely no need when you first start to have a jointer plane. I'm not saying that you can't have multiple planes, but we're talking about your very first plane that you buy. And so really the number 5, and I think a vintage plane is actually the way to go. But as I said at the start, if you don't have the time and you've got more money, then something from Lubin is actually a good option. Now, the only trade up there is that a new plane from Lubin or one here from Stanley Bailey's, they all have their own nuances as well and own issues. And I've got videos on both of these on how to repair them out of the box and all of that. So don't think buying a brand new hand plane means that there is no setup on the planes. You need to check the sole is flatten it. You want to sharpen your blades. You need to make sure the mating surface are all good to go. Because we're not talking about very premium planes here. We're not paying $600 Australian, sometimes more, for the likes of a premium out-of-the-box good-to-go Lee Nielsen or Veritas plane. We're talking about a mid-road, around that $300 mark, brand new, for something like this number 4 here, or even this low angle. And Lubin has offerings right through the range in this bedrock system. The only downside is that they are a lot heavier. So, my advice on a brand new hand plane is, obviously, you can choose any of them that you want. People like Rob Cosman, he likes the bedrock system in a 5.5. He says he likes the extra weight of the plane for doing face planing and smooth planing and all of that. And he uses a Wood River plane, and that's what he uses. He likes that. Others prefer number 4s like Paul Sellers. He'll always talk about a Bailey system number 4, saying that can do everything. But then again, he also uses number 5s and 5.5s, and even jointed planes as well. He just doesn't advocate for that as heavily in his videos. So all in all, I think the best option, in my opinion, for versatility, for length of sole, for weight, a vintage number 5 in the Bailey system is going to be best. If you really had to, you could go for a brand new Stanley Bailey, but they're of lesser quality than you're going to find in most of your vintage ones. You might have already seen a little bit of my bias here, but I will talk about what I think the best new plane is to buy as well, because there's some out there on the market, some of them better than others, some of them cheaper than others, and so we'll tackle that in another video as well. So to round out, my choice is the number 5 in a vintage style in the Bailey pattern because of its length, its weight, and its versatility. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up down below, hit that red subscribe button, don't forget to hit the little sub notification bell next to it and select all so you don't miss any new video notifications. And also sound off in the comments, because I'd love to hear what all of you think and why. So do give me a little bit of background as to why you choose it and why you recommend it, because this video can only help everyone, and you know, you don't just want my silly opinion, I want your opinion as well. So if you'd like to see another great video such as the one you've seen here today, do check out the video up here where I compare the Stanley Bailey and Bedrock patterns. Bye for now.